believe that we all experience a lot of low moments in our lives, you know. And I feel like as a creative, when you experience low moments in your space of creation, whether that could be like external metrics, you know, social media metrics affecting how you see yourself, social media metrics affecting your sense of self and how much confidence you have in what you create, which will ultimately lead to you feeling a certain way about who you are as a person. You know, I feel like it's really cliche to seek for help or ideas or certain perspectives that can change the way you see the relationship between social media metrics and self-worth, you know. And everyone kind of tells you that ignore the metrics, you know, ignore. But my lowest moments told me that even in those stages of life, and even in those stages of our art practice where we may put something out there and it's not really getting the response that we would love for it to get, you know, I believe that it's only right for each individual, or for myself to say the least, to honestly celebrate those moments, man, and celebrating them by being resistant, adding resistance to your craft and your practice, having boundaries, you know, understanding that how it has affected you, you know, and how it has affected me is, you know, it has affected my confidence in my art. It has affected how I see myself as a person too, you know, because I dedicate my whole life to this, bro, you know, and whatever that conjoins to collaborate with my art, whether it is an artist coming along to collaborate with me, whether that is a social platform that houses my art. You know, every time when I create with the intention of making sure that I am doing this to speak on whatever that I want to speak on. And I'm also doing this because I would love for it to resonate with an audience that understands the vision, that understands these ideas that just run around in my mind, and to understand that this is not just an idea that I want to keep for myself. You know, it's something that I believe can be shared amongst the collective. And when that doesn't happen, and you house your art in systematical algorithms like social media, you know, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, YouTube, you know, and when you don't see the result that you're expecting, and when you don't see that level of engagement, it's easy to just take a step away. And that's just been the reason why I've switched to so many mediums throughout my whole life, you know, is because every time when I experienced silence from the exterior world, I started to take that silence, and I thought that there was something wrong with me, and I had to fix that. And I didn't just have to fix me as a person, but I also had to fix what I was creating. And therefore, because I've always known that my art is beautiful and it doesn't need an explanation, every time when I'm in those lowest moments, it seems like I need an explanation for myself, and I punish myself by feeling like I'm not worthy of continuing this practice, and therefore I go explore a different practice. And I think what this moment is really teaching me is that we all experience our highs, but your lows is the ones that you have to pay attention to, because your lows make you, dog. They turn you into the person that you are supposed to be, you know, and they essentially reveal so much to you, you know. So yeah, man, like just having to be in that position and having to understand that, you know what, even when the world is not responding the way I would love for them to respond, you know, I'm still gonna act in resistance by not allowing these metrics to shape up how confident I can be in my art, or how much I can speak about, or how big I can do it, you know. And I just kept, ever since I thought about that, I just stuck to the same philosophy in life, you know. Sometimes, man, you know, you're not really gonna get what you expected, but even when you don't get what you initially expect, it's only right for you to resist by making sure that anything outside of your control doesn't define your character, or it doesn't define where you go with your art. You define and you set the standard, and you develop the world and the direction for where you want to go. The outside world might take time to adjust, but it's not necessarily a reflection of your intentions as a person. It's only a reflection of where people are in terms of the timeline that we are in and exactly what they're consuming. And sometimes what they are consuming could be so different from the world that you're building, but that doesn't give you a right to go join them unless you do want to join them. Personally, for me, it doesn't give me a right to neglect what could be seen as something that could potentially exist in the future. It might not just have a place right now, but the more I just keep on showing up for it, at some point the world will gravitate to it, and it will bend according to the will that I've set to make this happen, you know. So I'm realizing that that's literally it. You could either beat them or join them, man. And I don't really want to join them, you know. I feel like I am given a task to be innovative in the way that I believe is right. And if I leave that because of metrics that I cannot control, then essentially I've lost, you know.